Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Woodpecker's Deep Dive. Today, we're going to take a closer look at woodpeckers, saddle tees, and pocket tees, how they're the same and how they're different. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll always know when we're coming out with another great video. All right, let's take a look at these. We get a lot of confusion. We get a lot of people sending us emails and posts on social media about the saddle tees and the pocket tees. Why do we have both of them? Why did we do away with one when we came out with the other? Well, they're the kind of the same, but they're also very different, and they approach things differently. So let's start by taking a look at how they're the same. So let's look at what's the same about the two tools. One of the things that's very important is that both tools are milled from one solid piece of aluminum. These are not riveted, bolted, screwed, nothing. They are one solid piece of aluminum milled into shape. So that controls the squareness of the reference edge to the blade very carefully. What you don't know if you're not looking at them side by side, if you're looking at them on separate pages in the catalog, a lot of people look at this and assume that the reference edge on the pocket tee is longer because it extends beyond the blade. In reality, they are exactly the same length. So there's no advantage one way or the other as far as the length of the reference edge on one or the other. The blade on the pocket tee is a little bit narrower, which makes it, when you're doing small work, that makes it a little bit more convenient. The big wide blade on the saddle tee is better on bigger stock. Both scales are calibrated in 32nds of an inch. And we're going to take a look in just a second at the scribing holes. The scribing holes are drilled on 1/32 of an inch centers, and those are fantastic for parallel edge scribing. The bevel on both of them is beveled at 30 degrees, and so that gets the graduations right down on top of your stock. So one of the central features of both the pocket tees and the saddle tees is our scribing guides. These will give you very, very precise distances from the edge of the stock to your parallel line. And so all we have to do is decide where we want it, drop a mechanical pencil in the hole, and slide along the edge. And we're getting a perfectly parallel line next to our edge. That works exactly the same with both tools. Now the difference on the saddle tee is the reference edge. It's both deeper and directly in line with the graduated edge. What that gives you is the ability to mark both the edge and the face of your stock at the same time. So on the pocket tee, the reference edge is only 1/4 of an inch deep. So you don't have the ability to do wraparound marking, but if you're working on top of your bench and you're working with thinner stock, this isn't going to interfere the way that the saddle tee would. Now, in the case of something with a molded edge, the saddle tee is going to have an advantage because the deep reference edge lets you get past the molding so that you can make your mark. So, 4 sizes of saddle tees, 3 sizes of pocket tees. How do you decide which one you want? Well, the obvious answer is get them all. Then you never have to worry about it. You've got all of your bases covered. If that's not in the cards, let's take a look at how I would equip my personal shop. If I had to choose, what I would do is I would get the little pocket tees, the 3-inch and 6-inch. And then I would get the big saddle tees, the 8-inch and the 12. That's going to give you a really nice set. If 4's not in the cards and you got to pare it down to 2, a 2-piece set for me would be the little 3 and the big saddle, the pocket tee in 3, saddle tee in 12. If you've got to do it, just one. If you can only get one, to me, The perfect middle ground is the 8-inch saddle tee. That'll do your smalls pretty well, and it will cover a pretty nice range of stock. It's a great tool. That would be the one single one. But of course, I think that the best answer is get them all and stop worrying about it. All the sizes that I described to you, we also have those same metric equivalents. So now on the metric version, your scribing holes are on 1 millimeter centers and your scale is also at 1 millimeter. Hey folks, thanks for watching this edition of Deep Dive. I hope you understand a little bit more about the saddle tees and pocket tees, when one is more appropriate than the other, and which ones you need in your shop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Deep Dive.